Okay, happy Monday evening, everyone. It's time for another live commentary. Tonight we're taking a look at another women's foil bout. This one is between Deriglazova and Kiefer. This is from the 2016 World Cup in Tauber-Bischofsheim, I think it's pronounced. It's in Germany. So let's get right into this bout. There is going to be a little bit of, about a minute of dead time before the fencing actually begins. So we can talk about both of these athletes a little bit. Kiefer is, I think it's pretty safe to say, the best American women's foilist right now. Deriglazova is the same for Russia. I believe she's currently rank 1 in the entire world. In the US, you also have names like Nicole Ross, Margaret Liu, Sabrina Masialas. In Russia, I'm not too familiar with them. I know Martianova is another big name there. But it's pretty safe to say that right now these two are the top in their respective countries. This year, well, this was in 2016, so I'm not sure what the world ranking looked like at the time, but I believe they were still very much at the top of their respective countries at the time. If anyone wants to correct me, feel free to in the comments. Anyway, we've got Deriglazova on the left, Kiefer on the right. They test, and the bout should be getting underway any minute, any moment now. Okay, whenever you're ready, Lee, come on. Adjust that mask. So one thing that should become apparent right away is the stylistic differences between these two. Just like in men's foil, the national tendencies tend to be very present. Deriglazova comes out with a nice long attack. Gets Lee right to the end of the strip. Lee's having no trouble pushing back, though. These attacks don't look very earnest to me. It's probably mostly just trying to scope out how their opponent's going to defend. Pointed line setup from Lee to step in with a counterattack, but Deriglazova finishes very easily into it. Not sure what Lee is asking for right now. Actually, I'm probably I think instead of saying Deriglazova every time, I'll just say Ina, because it's 2 syllables instead of 4 or 5. Yeah, so Ina and Lee, just to keep things a little more casual and a little faster and easier to say in the heat of the action. I guess Lee wanted to switch weapons there. Fair enough. Although she did get a light in that last touch. Long marching attack from Lee. Does not decide to finish in time. Ina's counterattack is off target. Now, to my knowledge, and I'm not a huge expert in women's foil, but to my knowledge, it seems to be the Americans who have really been pushing for this very march-centered style. But the Russians do it as well a bit. We'll see how these two interact as the bout unfolds. These two have fenced each other a lot, by the way. You can take a look at their FIE bios. Infighting attempt. Maybe a yellow card for Lee for turning the back, or not. There was a moment where her mask was definitely pointed away from Ina, but I suppose it was purely incidental, and Kora happened anyway. Pretty slow march from Ina. Presses Lee to the end, finishes off target. Again, doesn't look like she's really... Oh, there, that was nice. Yeah, that first attack did not look like she was really trying to hit. She was trying to just get some space on the strip. That last one, though, she did kind of the prep, like Masialas does a lot. Low inside line. Long stop hit. Now, Deriglazova is... I should call her Ina. She is a little bit taller than Lee, so we might see that stop hit come out a bit. She's got very nice distance control, so she can make Lee fall short. There's another situation. These kind of shortish lunges back and forth, the distance favors Ina a bit because of her height advantage. Right now she's looking a little bit more explosive too. How are you going to call this? Attack left. I agree. It was close to being simul, but there was enough separation there. Okay, nice long remise. Oh, and stepping away with the counterattack. So at this point, looks like Lee's not quite got her legs under her enough to be very explosive. As I say that, though, that was nice. Now that Lee's moving again, she should be able to give pretty much more even fight. God, turn the camera! I can't see what's going on. Thank you. I hope this won't become a problem later in this bout. Relaxed march from Ina. Lee steps in with the counterattack closeout in 4. Again, it's pretty typical action. Especially in women's foil, there's a lot of stepping in and closing out. Long attack from Lee. Again, Deriglazova's distance control is very nice. You see that again with the stop hit. It's hard for Lee to put herself in the right place to score. She's very capable of doing so, but even her best acceleration, I feel like Ina can match it on the retreat. And we've seen that Lee's... to be fair, that was before she had really woken up, but Lee was pushed right back to the end several times. Again, yeah, Lee gives up quite a lot of space, and who wouldn't really in this situation? I don't know what the exact call is there. I didn't really hear the blade contacts very well. Attack by Ina. Kiefer parries. Again, that one withheld advance that she makes, I'm not too keen on, because Deriglazova's got such good distance control. Like, even if you make one prep step too many, it's going to be stop it and run away. Ina straightens her weapon. Fencing resumes. That was a nice idea, though. If you make the long lunge, your opponent stands still and parries, you can maybe go for the remise. Nice long attack by Lee that time. So it's a situation of pretty much tricking Ina into staying a little bit too close. She pulls distance barely on the attack, and that leaves her close enough that when she starts, she can accelerate into the distance, and Ina can't quite run away from it fast enough. I wonder what's going on there. Maybe something fell off of someone's equipment. I don't know. Again, long attack by Lee, but misses. Tries to infight. Referee calls halt, probably because he can't follow the action. Maybe a core. Slow, patient march from Ina. Oh, again. So another thing I'm noticing, these Ina's march is very patient, but when she does finish, it's always with a really good acceleration. Lee tends to march fast and finish fast, so it's a more consistent tempo from her. On the other hand, it might leave her a bit vulnerable to counterattack. Oh. Again, I don't know about Lee's decision to step in that time. She did a nice attempt at a remise before, but that looked a little bit wide distance to try that. Long lunge by Ina. Finishes off target through Lee's parry. Oh, very nice. When Lee doesn't have distance to run away, she's reduced to basically just flailing for the blade there. There's not much you can do, and Ina's patient enough that she's not going to go before she's absolutely certain she's going to hit. That's nice. I have no idea how Lee managed to get the tip off of her, but she did, and it's one light. But yeah, if I'm Lee, I would not want to be pushed back to my end of the strip anymore. So we'll probably see Lee be fairly aggressive. I'm interested that Ina's not really been pushed to her into the strip that much. She almost always goes for the stop hit or tries to stonewall Lee's attack before her end. Like that, you see there. This time, though, Lee has the infighting skill and gets a very nice touch. So yeah, Ina's not pulling distance as much as she could. Maybe she doesn't need to. But the spout is... yeah, nice. Another touch for Ina. The spout's been tending more towards Lee's side of the strip than Ina's. Despite the fact that Lee is probably the more, like, the speedier attacker in this case. Again, short attack by Lee, recover, and when Ina is not too confident in her ability to attack herself, Lee makes a much longer, more real attack to hit. In this case, it looked like jump in, jump out parry post from Ina. Time is going to run down. And we go to the 1 minute break. So this has been a pretty convincing display from Ina so far. Lee is, I'd say, not on her best game here. Or maybe this was her best at the time, but I've seen much better from her more recently. But I'm fairly confident that this is not as good as Lee gets. That said, she has had some nice tactics. Ina's had her share of tactical victories of her own, like that last touch that she just got was very nice. And it seems the main difference between these two is technical. There's been a lot of touches where Lee has been just forced back, runs out of space, and then can't find a way to deal with Ina's attack. There have also been some cases where Lee wants to step into the distance and just can't turn the light on. So, yeah, we'll see how this goes. One thing Lee might try and do differently is make a march a little bit slower, maybe get more distance on the strip, force Ina back a little bit, because on defense, Lee probably wants more space behind her to work with to set something up. If she's pushed back to her end of the strip, obviously she has huge trouble dealing with this withheld finish by Ina. So maybe you push all the way to the end, give yourself the entire strip to work with and set up something defensive. Or maybe just give Ina a taste of her own medicine. That said, Lee does favor a very fast attack, so I'm not sure if it'll be worth her while to slow it down that much. If she does, Ina might go for even more stop hits, though. Oh, counter riposte from Kiefer, off target. There's a nice slow march. And finishes it pretty soon. Oh, again, though. She's got the acceleration. You can see she's, like, getting to the target. It's just missing. And the stop hit from Ina arrives. Again, Lee's a little bit too withheld here, it feels like. That time her arm was a little late to the party. Ina marches slowly, and this time Lee can break into the distance. I'd say that was more Ina's mistake, though, than Lee's brilliance. Although that's pretty cool, because this time, yeah, this time she capitalized. Ina decided to finish early just in case Lee was going to go for that again, maybe. And as a result, Lee gets a little bit more of an opportunity to find something. But again, this time, Ina just starts again and finishes off target. Oh, a little bit close now. Interesting. I was actually not expecting that. I was expecting Lee to pull more distance away. So maybe she's opting for a different defensive strategy herself. Because they waited around in a pretty dangerous distance for quite a while. Like, they're doing that kind of here too. Step back point in line, maybe? What is Lee doing here? So that's kind of cool. Ina's first attack, no, and then Lee can step in. That last action threw me for a loop. I don't actually know what Lee's plan is here. Another attack by Ina off target? We'll see. Now she wants more distance. Come on, tilt the camera, please. Ina steps in with a counterattack. Lee's attack finishes off target. Yeah, I really don't know at this point. I'm kind of mystified. Ina's still basically doing the same thing she's been doing, which is just a slow, consistent march to the end, finish withheld through Lee's attempts to parry. But Lee's been... Okay, yeah. That was not good. Yeah, simple straight finish there by Ina. Lee kind of just impales herself. Again, Ina marches and can't quite find a way to finish when Lee crushes the distance really hard with the counterattack. But that's... that worked a few times before as well, but Lee can't attack herself. Stop it, maybe. Yeah, it feels like Ina just has way too many options. Turn the camera, for Christ's sake, please! I can't see... Okay, thank you. Ina's final attack off target, or remise or something. Who really knows? The camera was not on them. Lee's being awfully aggressive for the amount of time she has to work with, and yeah. Looks like she was kind of rushing towards the end there. So that was interesting. Definitely not the best I've seen from Lee. I've watched a few of her bouts internationally, as well as some nationals that she's been to. She doesn't go to that many nationals anymore, though. And of course, Ina Deriglazova rightfully deserves her rank 1 spot right now. She's basically... I hesitate to say the next Vetsali, but she's Pretty dominant force in women's foil right now. But anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and as always, stay sharp.